What is up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome into the Sactown Sports Kings recap show. As I zoom out here just a little bit, coming to you live after the Sacramento Kings lose to the Miami Heat here in Golden One Center by a score of 121-110. Incredibly disappointing. What a roller coaster of a game it was. There was definitely some big downs in this game, specifically that third quarter. But then a really big comeback at the end just to eventually come up short against this Miami Heat team, which, speaking about short, was just depleted today, completely depleted. No Jimmy Butler, no Nikola Jovic, not that he's a regular contributor, no Tyler Hero tonight, no Terry Rozier for Miami. Didn't matter. You would think that this is a game that the Sacramento Kings should have hopped on, really should have looked at it as an opportunity to pounce on a weakened opponent on the second night of a back-to-back. We already know how difficult those games are, but the fact that this one is about as easy as it comes, and this Kings team just completely crapped the bed, honestly. Like, there's no other way of putting it. This team arguably played their best basketball less than 24 hours, or I guess at this point it was 24 hours ago, and to come out tonight and not even look like a shred of the same team. It looks like all the lessons that they learned were just completely thrown out the window and forgotten about. That fourth quarter was great. I really wish that we could spend more time on that fourth quarter and how good they looked and how well they executed. They got stops. They made Miami, frankly, look like how they should have looked all night long. But that wasn't good enough. And, I don't understand how, last night they don't allow the Clippers to get a single quarter over 30 points. The Miami Heat's first three quarters of action tonight, 32 points in the first, 33 points in the second, 36 points in the fourth. The Kings held them to 20 in the fourth, which is great, but wasn't good enough. I mean, you have to show up. And for this team to have this result after playing their best ball just yesterday, it's embarrassing. It's confusing. It's in a weird way, it's very on brand. I think a lot of people saw this one coming tonight, frankly. A lot of people that I was talking to, media, a couple fans and friends that I talked to, definitely thought that this is not really a trap game, but it's a bit of, if you've watched this Kings team all year, you know how inconsistent they are. And, this really wasn't that big of a surprise if you believed in that consistency, that the Kings just would even have this as a possibility. I mean, I'm a little bit shell shocked. I was saying all day I didn't even think it was possible for Miami to get to a score like 120, but they did it. They did it tonight. A big part of it was Bam Adebayo. I'm going to have a lot of things to say about Bam, more specifically how he got his points. Jaime Jaquez was a freaking problem tonight. They could not stop him getting to the rim. He was only 1 of 2 from 3. It's not like he was he was just on fire from the perimeter. He was saucing them. He put them down in the paint. He used his body and just straight out physicaled the Sacramento Kings. And I see it in the comments here. Spo is a miracle worker. He absolutely is. Eric Spoelstra played this game perfectly. He knew that, hey, we're down players. He used a ton of his timeouts. It almost came back to bite him in the end there. But definitely, I think the biggest thing that Spo did today that completely threw the Kings off their game, specifically in the first half, was get Sabonis in foul trouble. They went at Domantas Sabonis tonight more than I've ever seen anybody attack him. And for all those people out there who are Sabonis naysayers and say, the Kings can't win because Domantas Sabonis is their center, I'll tell you what, those people got a ton of fuel today if they watched tonight's game, because Bam Adebayo did nothing special. He just straight ISO'd Sabonis, faced him up, backed him down, took turnarounds on him, took him to school completely. And, that's a really bad look for Sabonis. Bam is not an offensive mastermind at all. It's okay for Bam when he is the offensive focus to get a little bit more points than he would typically get on a given night. But tonight he just cooked Sabonis. His first step was much faster than him every single time, was able to get around him. And I really feel like this is one of Domantas Sabonis' worst performances of the season. Granted, back to back, second night of a back to back. He's played incredibly through a stretch. It's totally understandable for him to want his team to kind of pick up the slack a bit on one night. Even saying that, Sabonis gets a triple double. I'm not going to talk much about it. I don't have it I don't have the crawl up right now, but I don't have Sabonis getting a star from me tonight. I think he can absolutely play better. But at the same time, he was cooked. He was completely cooked tonight by multiple people, and it was not a good showing for him defensively. And it wasn't just him, but he really specifically seemed to get targeted from Eric Spoelstra tonight. And I thought him getting into foul trouble in the first quarter really changed the trajectory of this game, and also just them continually going at him over and over and over again really, I think, was the key for Miami to get into a rhythm, because there was a couple times where Miami had no rhythm tonight. They really couldn't get anything going. They struggled offensively. They went completely cold. Their shooters went cold. And they would just kind of go into ISOs and figure it out. I mean, it was not beautiful team basketball. I know they did get a decent amount of assists tonight, but for the most part, I mean, it wasn't really anything special Miami was doing. They were just cooking the Kings defenders one-on-one. So it was really disheartening to see just in general that backup effort. I'm seeing a couple people bringing up Alex Len getting no minutes tonight. That's definitely interesting. I know Alex Len was unavailable yesterday. He was completely healthy today and was just a healthy scratch. Thought it was interesting that Mike Brown decided to go small ball and go with Trey Lyles at the backup five for a majority of tonight. You would think that, for a lineup we haven't really seen much, Trey Lyles at the backup five makes a whole lot more sense when you're playing a big team, because that's then pulling guys like Rudy Gobert out of the paint. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to really go matching up with Miami. It just felt like if you're going to throw Trey Lyles out there expecting him to beat Bam Adebayo, I just don't think that that's quite the mismatch that's something you would want to take advantage of. That feels like you're honestly just doing a worse version of what Miami is doing. So I didn't really agree with it. I think Trey played great, especially I took note his little first stint there, played all of his minutes at the backup five. He was a plus 11 in his first 6 minutes out there. Him and Duarte both were really, really good in that first quarter. But it really didn't do well in the second half. And that third quarter especially was just terrible. Miami dominated them in the paint that quarter in the third, 18-6. What else stuck out? The Kings free throw shooting in that quarter. Malik missed back-to-back free throws. Miami's points off turnovers were significantly higher than the Kings all night long. And while we're talking about it, turnovers tonight, I think is really what did the Kings in. They finished with just an unacceptable amount. Let me see what the final tally was. Kings finished with 15 turnovers tonight, and I believe 7 of them coming from De'Aaron Fox. That's way too many. De'Aaron had 6 assists tonight. You just can't have that. You really can't. And I know a big part of it was Miami zone. Miami zone is really tough for everybody. It's what they're known for. But the Kings just have seemed completely unprepared and clueless when they face that zone. I mean, Miami's now thrown it. They've played Miami twice. Both times, it just completely stalls the Kings' offense. And it really just forces them to take an extra second to think. And that extra second just kills them every single time. So, I'm glad they don't have to see Miami again, period, all season long. I don't think the Heat are going to make another miracle finals run or anything like that. So I'm glad that the Heat are off the Kings schedule. They're a tough defensive team. They're just a tough team in general. And I think they much like the Kings wanted it more than LA yesterday, I think Miami really just wanted it more than Sacramento tonight. And it's pretty disheartening because the Kings really could have used this win. They have to go at Denver on Wednesday, at Minnesota on Friday. Those are two of the toughest teams in the Western Conference, especially facing them in their home on their home floor. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. I can't sugarcoat it to you. The Kings needed this one, frankly, just to make sure that they could, at the very least, split this little 4-game stretch. And now they're at danger of losing it. Going 1-3. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the fact that it's a possibility, you see how tight the Western Conference is. Let me check real quickly to see if we can get a little bit of a standings update here, because the Kings started off today in 5th place, but with the loss probably moves them all the way down to 7th. Yeah, they moved down to 7th now, tied with Dallas for the 8 seed or for the 7 seed. Phoenix moves up to 5. New Orleans moves up to 6. I believe both of those teams both play tomorrow as well. So maybe there's a chance the Kings move up when they don't even play. But at the end of the day, you just kind of need wins like this, and it's pretty disappointing. The Kings kind of ruined all of their, not mulligans, but ruined all leeway they had in terms of losing games in which they needed to get. They really can't afford to lose many more of these. They have a couple games coming up after this Denver Minnesota trip where they're more kind of gotta have it. And man, we cannot have more games like this. I've been saying all week long, it doesn't matter how, or I guess all of last week, didn't matter how they got it done. It was just important that they got it done. And we're seeing now that this is just not good. It's really not a good situation to put themselves in. Yeah, no one's going to make it easy for them. I'm seeing here, this is an interesting. There are no must-win games because this team isn't serious. They're just collecting checks and enjoying the regular season. I mean, I don't agree with that. I think that there is must wins. I think that, I mean, if we're talking about title contention, yeah, they're not seriously contending for an NBA title, but at the same time, this team is capable of making some noise in the playoffs and building towards something really serious. And you know, I think that they're gonna need to really focus up down the stretch here, because you know, they play really quality opponents, and no one's going to take it easy for them. No one's going to feel sorry for them. I'm going to have to make today a little bit shorter of a stream. A, my computer battery's dying, and B, I've got to get on out of here. I got to take some people home from the game. So going to wrap this thing up here real quick. Do the stars of the night real quick. I mentioned Sabonis. Didn't get any stars from me. I just think he can play better, flat out. I mean, he didn't shoot well in the first half or in the first quarter against LA. And today just really looked like Bam was the better player tonight. I don't think he is overall, but tonight Bam definitely looked like the better center of the two. 1 star is going to Kevin Huerter. That's honestly mainly of a slight towards Sabonis, but I thought Kevin had some good moments. He wasn't excellent tonight. I think he was 5 of 15 from the field, 2 of 9 from 3. Really nothing special at all from Kevin, but we're just seeing him kind of start to hit shots and just contribute even a little bit. So I you know, whatever, just a little hat tip over to Kevin Huerter. 2 stars going to De'Aaron. De'Aaron did hurt himself pretty early in this game. Don't know what is going on with his knee. I think it was his knee that got banged up. Really going to be interesting to see if there's any injury updates on that front. Seemed to be limping quite a bit. Had a good game. Didn't really seem to hamper him much, that knee did. But, you know, it's just another thing to add to the list at this point. De'Aaron hit a couple threes, which is good to see. Took 1 bad step back 3, which I didn't love. But you definitely have seen him take less threes here recently. And I think that that's probably not a coincidence. I think it has a lot to do with his shoulder. And our number 3 stars for tonight going to Keegan Murray. Terrific game, 28 points, hit 2 huge threes in the fourth quarter down the stretch that made this game really close and able for the Kings to get. If they can get more performances out of Keegan Murray like this, look out. This is how this second half of the season becomes really fun. This is what the Kings want to see just in terms of development from Keegan the second half of this season. And, you know, the 2 blocks, 3 steals, is also incredibly promising. That's showing his defense wasn't really awesome on defense tonight. I'm not going to lie. Jaime Jaquez did take him down to the post a couple different times and really threw his weight around a couple different times. But Keegan was fantastic on offense, 6 of 7 from 3. Didn't miss a shot in the first half. I think he only missed one at the end of this game. What a game from Keegan. Hope to see many, many more like this. And our next opportunity is on Wednesday in Denver against the Denver Nuggets. The Kings look for the season sweep of the defending champions, looking to go 4-0 against Denver this year. That'll be a good one. I'll be joining you guys after that one. Can't wait to talk to you then. Again, sorry for the shorter stream tonight, but we went long yesterday, so definitely go check out the stream from yesterday. You can also check me out on Wednesday after that game in Denver. Y'all have a fantastic night. Unfortunately, you won't be under the beam, but have a good night, man.